Well, hello, friends. It's Pastor Eric here, and I'm glad to be with you here in Kids Worship this afternoon on Sunday at 2 o'clock. We are continuing to have our series, we're finishing it up actually, our series which is called Promise. And you'll see that there right there on the screen. This is the 5th week of our series Promise, and it's talking about all of different promises that God has made to us over the years. And today we're going to talk about one final promise from the book of Genesis, which means beginnings. It's the very, very, very first book of the Bible. And you're going to hear about this last story. It's actually a continuation of last week's story about a man named Joseph. So let me know that you are here if you're watching on Facebook or on the Church Online platform or on YouTube, even if you're not watching it live today. Let me know you're here, and so I can be praying for you and know who's here. And also let's greet our friends and neighbors that are with us. Usually if we were in person, we'd be doing high fives or fist bumps or hugs or handshakes. So let's do that and let everybody know you're here and that you're glad that they are in worship with you. As we finish up our series called Promise, we have a song from Yancey that is called There Are Promises. So here we go. Get ready to dance. Okay, friends, so today we're finishing this series called Promises. And then I was thinking about this. I was thinking that Joseph last week went through lots and lots of bad times before he saw the future he had dreamt of. His brothers tossed him into the pit and they sold him to these traders. And in Egypt, it even ended up being worse because he ended up being in prison. He ended up being in jail, and he didn't even do anything wrong. But even though he had rough times, he knew God would keep his promises. God would keep promises. It's sort of like this sheet of paper. When bad things happen, kind of gets crumpled up when things don't go as planned. And it seems like it is ruined. But if we open up this paper, and maybe even if we are able to smooth it out a little bit, right? All right, so we could use this paper, right? It might not be the best piece of paper to use, but we could use it. But is there something else that we could do that might make it even better? What if we took some crayons? Let's see, blue is one of my favorite colors. So what if I took some blue crayon and rubbed it on there? Well, that's kind of neat. It makes some cool cracks and crevices and highlights. What if we took some different colors in there? We took some kind of red in there too. And let's see, we took some green, light green. And some orange. Maybe, let's see, what else? Maybe some yellow. And it can begin to turn into something that looks pretty neat, right? All what we thought was ruined ends up being now things for us to look at that highlights what we thought was messed up, but now it's turning into a pretty picture. It has a pretty design that in the paper caused by the stresses of crumpling it up, but this paper reminds us that even in hard times, God is with us. Even in hard times, God is with us and can make something beautiful happen. All this color reminds me, or should remind us, that God is with us too. Remember the rainbow from a couple weeks ago? It reminds me today of the big idea. So let's get a drum roll. Drum roll, everybody. Here we go. Today's big idea. Today's big idea is God keeps promises. And just like all the colors on that page remind us of God's promises, like the rainbow reminds us that God keeps promises. So last week we remembered this story. It was Joseph, and he had these dreams, and they were a little strange, and his brothers didn't really like him. And so they threw him in a pit, and they sold him to some people, and they took him to Egypt. That's kind of where we left off last week. But after that, after Joseph got to Egypt, he remained faithful to God. And he had his ups and he had his downs. But eventually he ended up in jail. And he didn't do anything wrong to get there. But that's where we're going to catch up on this story. So let's see what Callie's World has to say about this.
What's up, friends? I kind of feel like we're family now. This is like the 5th episode of this vlog, and we're gaining more subscribers. I think, like everything, if we keep going, stuff is bound to happen, right? Hold 1 minute. Let me feed Grub. Are you hungry, Grub?
A few moments later.
Oh, look! We have a new comment here. This is from Johnny. Johnny says, so after Joseph was taken to Egypt, what happened next? Well, Johnny, let's find out, because I have no idea.
It's time for our Bible story. After Joseph's brothers had sent him away, he ended up in a different land called Egypt. Joseph worked very hard in this new place.
But wasn't he sad?
I'm sure he was, but he knew that what God promised in his dreams would happen eventually. Joseph worked for a very important man in Egypt named Potiphar. Potiphar trusted Joseph and put him in charge of his entire house.
That sounds like a big job.
It sure was, and Joseph took it very seriously. But one day, Potiphar's wife told a lie about Joseph, which made Potiphar very angry, and he sent Joseph to prison right away.
Oh no, it seems like only bad things are happening to Joseph.
It does seem that way, but guess what? Joseph knew he did nothing wrong. So even in prison, he kept working hard and never gave up on the dreams God showed him a long time ago.
He trusted God.
He did. Joseph's gift became known to other prisoners around him. They tell him their own dreams, and Joseph would then tell them what it meant. It was a wonderful gift that he had. After some time, the Pharaoh of Egypt heard about Joseph and his gift for explaining the meanings of dreams. You see, Pharaoh had some bad dreams himself and needed some help.
Oh my!
So Joseph was taken to see Pharaoh. Joseph told Pharaoh what his dreams meant and that they were going to have 7 good years and 7 very bad years. There would be no food in the land during the bad years.
For 7 years?
Yes, but don't worry. Joseph gave Pharaoh a plan. They'd need to save extra food within the 7 good years, so they would have enough food for the 7 bad years that would come after. Pharaoh was very happy with that idea and set Joseph free from prison.
Awesome!
It didn't stop there. As time went on and the bad years came, Joseph's family back home were running out of food. So Joseph's brothers came to Egypt to buy food. By now, Joseph was a very important man in Egypt.
If I were Joseph, I would have said, "Told ya!"
Can you imagine how Joseph must have felt? Happy to see them, but also sad and maybe even a little angry. But in the end, Joseph recognized them and forgave them for being mean to him. After that, the entire family moved to Egypt, where Joseph could make sure that they were well. It took what seemed like a long time, but God's promises came true. Joseph saved his family and helped to save all of Egypt too. He was an important man that everyone looked up to, just as he had dreamt a long time ago.
That's amazing. So God really kept his promise to Joseph. Yeah, it took some time, but it happened. God kept the promises that used to be just dreams to Joseph. Joseph did become someone super important, and because of that, he was able to save his whole family. I wonder what promises God will keep in our lives. So guys, today has been amazing. We learned so many amazing things about God that blows my mind. I feel good about it too though, and so should you. Catch you next week on this Callie's World. Peace.
So friends, now Joseph's future looks pretty bright, right? His God-given gift has put him in a position of power, and just as the dreams predicted, after 7 years of plenty, there were 7 years of famine. That means no food. Because Joseph's good planning, after 7 years of plenty, there was still lots of food stored up. So back in Canaan, in Israel, Joseph's family was hungry, and because the famine and his brothers, the ones who had thrown him into the pit and sold him to the traders, came to Egypt to buy grain. And they did not know that the one in charge was their brother Joseph, the one they treated so badly. So what would you have said to your brothers if you were Joseph? Do you think you would have been kind like Joseph was? What if I told you that Joseph forgave his brothers? He told them that God had been in control all along. He said, what you meant for bad, God meant for good, because Joseph trusted in God's promises. Because of that, the family was saved. And they all moved to Egypt where they lived for many, many years because God keeps promises. That's our big idea today. God keeps promises. Say that with me. God keeps promises. All right, so we've been looking at this, working on this memory verse. Now this is the 5th week. This is the last week for you to memorize it and to record it and to send it to me. And then I will make a porch delivery of a treat for you, a good treat. So let's see how you're doing with this. I'm going to put us up on the screen here together, okay? So here we go. There's the memory verse. I'm going to go through it once, and then we'll kind of go back and review a little bit. It says, not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Every one was fulfilled. And that's Joshua 21:45. Okay, so let me teach it to you. If this is the first time you're saying it's okay, you'll get it and you can do the prize, no problem. So first we're going to go with a not sign. Not one, okay? Not one of all the Lord's. Lord, you're going to make an L and then bring it down across your body, kind of like you're in a beauty pageant, okay? Lord. Good, we're going to do thumbs up. And then promise is like rock on this hand and paper on this hand. Promises, okay? Let's do that part together. Not one of all the Lord's good promises, okay? Piece of cake. You did great. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Let's give a thumbs down. You can make a frown. Make a sound. Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled. And fulfilled, you're going to make a different kind of rock with a thumbs up on top. That means fulfilled means it happened. Everyone was fulfilled. Everyone happened. Now we're going to do a J, Joshua 21:45. All right, one more time all together. Are you ready? Here we go. Not one of all the Lord's good promises to Israel failed. Everyone was fulfilled. Joshua 21:45. All right, good job. Awesome job. Do that, record yourself, send it in to me, either email, text, put it in the comments, put it on Facebook, direct message me, however you need to get it to me. And then I will make a porch delivery of a special treat to your house, okay? Good deal. All right, boys and girls, so it's time for our prayer time. So let's go to the Lord in prayer. And we, to do that, we do our and pray. Close our eyes, bow our heads, get real still. We love you, God. You're the God who keeps promises. Help us to remember that when things seem rough, you are always there. You always keep your promises. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, normally when we're in person, we would be collecting our offering here now this time. We would have coming up to the altar and giving of our money that we have found at home or we've earned at home from doing some extra chores. And we give that to our mission partners. Right now we're doing a special school supply drive for our friends at Pinecrest Elementary. So if you want to bring some school supplies in, you can do that and bring them into the courtyard at the church. There's a bin there for Pinecrest Elementary. You can put them in there and we'll pick them up, and Pastor Tracy and I will take them over to our friends at Pinecrest. So friends, I want to just give a couple of announcements of things that are happening. We're going to be starting up all of our regular programming. So tomorrow night will be Kids Book Club at 7 o'clock. So before bed, Maybe you eat some dinner, take a shower, get your PJs on, and then you can tune in at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live, and you can watch Miss Becky read a book. We'll do that again on Wednesday night, and then on Saturday morning, next Saturday as well at 11. So don't miss the Grace Kids Book Club. And friends, have a fantastic week of school. Remember to be patient. Everything's going to be a little new, a little different. Be patient, be helpful to your classmates, be helpful and respectful of your teachers, and make sure that you're helping your parents as well. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be different, but it's going to be fantastic. And you're going to do a great job. And I can't wait to hear all about this week at school. All right, friends, remember today's big idea that God keeps promises. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.